5. The lines are locked. 4. Match day is near. 3. The picks are clear. 2. The picks are in. 1. Let the show begin. Game on! It's that time again. Game on! Kicks and picks is back again. Game on! Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Game on! The guys are here and ready to go. Game on! Game on! Game on! Game on! The guys are here and ready to go.
Welcome back to Kicks and Picks podcast. A day later than usual. Some work stuff getting in the way for Nick, but he is here after a long day of travel. Scotty's still out of commission for another week, but he will be back soon. But we're here to talk plenty of great matches this coming weekend. I do have to start though by pointing to my little, I don't know if you can see my finger here, 1-0 derby victory for Roma. I don't know if anything was more predictable than an under in that match and a Roma victory in that match. But we talked about last week with Steve Cerruti, and yeah, I mean, I guess the only no-show was you had the Sule shot on target, I think we talked about, or Sule goal.
Yeah.
But everything else played out pretty much like it did. And when I saw Pellegrini was starting, I said Pellegrini goal or assist because he's coming off of like basically getting shunned by the club. He shows up in the derby every time, and that hit for me. Only goal of the match. I wish I sprinkled on anytime goal scored too, because that was like +4 something, I think. But yeah, it was a good match for me. A little scare at the end on that Cataldi curler, but other than that, it was pretty much all Roma.
Pretty boring game, I think, as suspected. No, we nailed it. I mean, shout out Steve Cerruti who came on. I think even before getting into that game, just overall, probably our best week of bets. I think like for the first time, we pretty much nailed everything in both leagues. So happy about that. I know you hit it. You hit the nail on the head, man. Like there was nothing going into that game that said Lazio was really going to pose a threat or do anything. Roma didn't have to do much, and they certainly didn't. And Pellegrini, you mentioned it. I mean, his last 4 goals are probably all against Lazio. Like
he's got his most goals scored in the league against any team is Lazio with 4 in the derby.
I mean, I joked with you last year. I know we said it on the show last year. Like his best 10 minutes all season, it was in one game against Lazio. Like he scored those 2 early goals in the derby, and there was nothing for the rest of it. Well, that happened again. What minute did he score in this one?
It was fairly early,
right? Like the first 20.
Yeah, within the first 20 or so, and impactful off the bench yesterday too in the Europa League. Set up. Got a steal, got the corner kick that he then curled in for the first goal from Indica. So and it's funny because Ricky Masada, who basically said he's got to leave the club in the summer, who's the new sporting director, who used to work as the assistant sporting director a bunch of years ago for Roma, tune changing a little bit in the paper, saying, you know, we let the pitch do the talking kind of thing, like kind of reopening the door, because if he's playing like this, like he's the Pellegrini from 3-4 seasons ago under Mourinho when he was tearing up the league, and we were like, well, this is finally like. He's finally doing what he should be doing. So I don't think you let a guy like that walk away for free if he's performing and stays fit. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, good weekend for us. Good weekend for me with Roma. The Eagles, remarkable win. And they covered for me, which made it even better unexpectedly.
Big cover's good.
But we have a maybe even better slate of matches this weekend. Well, the last weekend was pretty loaded too. The calendar guys have been good to us these past couple of weeks. We'll kick it off in Italy this week because the biggest match of the weekend is that Milan hosting Napoli match. Napoli still unbeaten in the league. They did let me down with I had them -1.5 on Monday, so that kind of pissed me off. But they're playing well. Milan are now 3 wins in a row, plus the Coppa Italia win in the midweek, so that makes it 4 in all competitions. They're hosting Napoli, and Nick, there are some big numbers in this one. Just looking at the money line only, it's +130 for Milan at home. Napoli +205, +215 on the draw line. Napoli draw no bet is +120. I know there's Champions League for Napoli in the midweek that they have to look ahead to, but man, this is some big numbers. The over is set at 2.5 at +115. The under is -145. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go here.
Yeah, which way do you want me to go? Do you want me to tell you follow the odds and makes no sense to me that Milan are a plus 130 favorite. So that tells me that Milan is a really great bet on the money line here. Or do you want me to do what you kind of started to do and justify taking a shot with Napoli? Because I
Yeah,
think,
I
like you said,
mean,
the reasoning is they do have Champions League again. So that's, a lot of fixtures. They are away from home in this one. And I think the reality, and I'm looking at Milan and Roma. We'll get into Roma, I guess, after we do this game. You're looking at two teams that could realistically be undefeated. I mean, Milan lost that first game to Cremonese. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Just like I don't think anybody saw Roma losing to Torino, right? Even though Roma
yeah,
hasn't exactly impressed. If you looked at those 4 games, you'd say, okay, they could be on 12 points with Napoli.
yeah,
Um, so that's what's kind of fascinating about this to me. You and I, when we previewed the season, we had Milan coming up, certainly from 9th place, right? Nobody expected them to be there, but I think you and I both had them in top 4, or certainly in the race for top 4. Allegri coming back to coach, to me, is the single biggest coaching upgrade, I think, of any team. Not to say, you can make a case for Gasparini, but Roma performed so well towards the end of the year that
yeah,
I don't know how much he could have expected to be better, whereas Milan were coming from a dumpster fire. But what's impressed me out of them is their defense has been really good. They only gave up those goals in that first game that they lost, haven't conceded a goal since, 3 straight wins. They look good. Pulisic looks really good. They've been managing his minutes, but he's still kind of performing. Santi Jimenez finally getting off, I think last game with a goal or 2 games ago. So, I mean, that's good for them. They just look like they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder with how they did last year. So I think through 4 games, they're kind of as expected as far as I'm concerned. What's impressing me about Napoli is they're not playing well, or some of these games they haven't played well, and they're still getting the results. So that
yeah,
to me is really the turning point of a team. Not playing great, still getting the results you need. If you look through what they did, they beat Sassuolo week 1. Yes. Cagliari, I think that was something like a 95th minute winner at home,
that was
right?
it.
That
Yeah,
was a game they didn't look very good. Took care of business with Fiorentina, who I don't think are very good. They lost to Man City. Di Lorenzo had that red card. I don't put a ton of stock in that away from home. And then this game against Pisa, right? 3-2. They had to come back twice, or right? They were up and blew a lead. I forget how it played out exactly. But they got that third goal. And they held on, right? Luka gets his first goal of the year. That's something they're going to need from them with Lukaku out for another month. So they're getting the results despite not playing particularly well in any game
yeah.
so far, at least from my view.
Yeah, I have to give a shout to Pulisic because you mentioned him. I saw a stat this week from Optapalo, which is like the stats thing for Serie A, and 25 and 17 were the 2 numbers they threw out there. Christian Pulisic became the first player to score at least 25 goals and provide at least 15 assists in the last 3 Serie A seasons. He got 25 and 17, which is a huge return. He's been such a great signing for them. I know he gets a bit of flack probably because he's American, and I know for the U.S. national team, he turned down the call up this summer for the Gold Cup and all that. But I mean, the guy in terms of his club performance, outside that one spell at Chelsea, where he kind of had that downswing that caused him to leave for Milan. I mean, he's been outstanding. He was good for Dortmund, good at the beginning for Chelsea, and now he's been great for Milan. So makes me happy to see, especially in a World Cup year for the U.S.,
Yep.
that hope he is all he's been kind of built up to be. I think as an American player, he's got to be at this point the best American European club player and he's still young in the prime years. So that's impressive. Another stat that as I was scrolling down, I just got to throw out there because it's a player in this match, Lorenzo Luca. Nick, this kind of just sums up the Italian national team striker situation. He's the only Italian-born player from 2000 onwards to have scored more than 20 goals at 21, considering the last 3 seasons in Serie A.
Yeah,
So that's a nice return for him, but to have no other Italian strikers that are basically age 25 or younger that have scored in the last 3 years 20 goals in the league certainly sums things up for Italy. So that's just a little side note for this one with 2 of the attacking players that'll probably be involved.
Yeah.
To me, like right away when I see these lines, I know, like you say, follow the lines sometimes when you see like a team like Milan at plus 130, but I can't not take Napoli on the draw no bet when they're plus 120.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like a no-brainer. And if they, you know what, if they go and lose, you tip your cap to Milan, but you're getting plus money on the undefeated champions against a team that they beat twice last year. I do see why the under is at minus 145 when you have these two managers, especially Allegri. I think he's going to try to play a little terrorist ball, as we like to call it.
Yep.
Sort of like when he was at Juve and Mourinho was at Roma, and we'd get these those kind of battles. But this feels like a low scoring match. One goal might do it with the way these teams have played. But if you're gonna give me the opportunity to pick one or the other, and you're giving me plus money on Napoli draw no bet at almost the same number as the Milan money line, I'm taking the Napoli draw no bet at plus 120. I know they play Sporting in the midweek, but it's at home. There's not much travel to go from Milan to Naples.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm leaning here.
Yeah, and I don't think Sporting's particularly that good. I mean, what two-part question. Do you believe Milan get a goal in this game at home? They've scored 7 in 4 games.
They've scored 7 in 4. Napoli hasn't kept a clean sheet in their last 3, including the Champions League. So it certainly could happen. Napoli only kept the clean sheet the first 2. They conceded to Fiorentina in 3-1 win. They conceded to Pisa 2, which makes me think that Milan can certainly get theirs in this one.
Pulisic leads the league in goals right now. Okay. Yeah. Napoli team total over 1.5 is plus 180. Now, I know you said it's an under game. We know what Max is going to do. We know Milan have only conceded 2 goals so far. But if you think Napoli are going to win this game, do you think they're going to win it 1-0?
Based on what you're telling me, probably not, right? So they're probably going to need 2 if you're going to catch the draw no bet.
So that's what I'm thinking. And I'm not advocating for it as a best bet. I am saying if you believe in Napoli in this game, that's my favorite bet because I think it's highly unlikely they win the game 1-0. But I mean, okay, the money line's plus 205, so you have that. I mean, I would be between those 2 bets if I was really looking to take a shot. I agree with you. I think the best way to approach it is a draw no bet in this instance because, what's the other golden rule we always talk about? You get the league leaders at plus money. You take it.
Which would actually get the draw too, which makes it even more enticing to me.
It's right there in front of you. I mean, you can go to the Asian handicap plus quarter of a goal. I think they're minus 110. So a lot of ways to look at it. I think goal scorers are at a premium in this one. Everybody's plus 255 or higher.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
I would definitely wait for lineups. I don't think I'm going out on a limb with like a Santi Jimenez goal or anything like that. But Pulisic, plus 265, I think it's because of the form he's in, not necessarily because of how or where he plays or what I expect out of this one. Don't know if Luka or Højlund's going to be starting. Don't know what's going on with Milan's lineup. So proceed with caution. I don't know that I would go with player props in this one because of kind of what you said, how these defenses have looked, what the coaches are looking to get out of it. And if you're Napoli, realistically, going away to Milan and coming out with a draw is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So, I saying all this to come back and just say, be cautious. I think you're on the right track when you said under. I think you're on the right track when you said a Napoli draw no bet. Those are the most practical, safest ways to approach this and try to get a winning bet.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in this match. I just think, to me, when I go and approach this match on Sunday, unless I see some kind of lineup that I'm not really comfortable with Napoli, I'm probably going to go draw no bet as long as it stays around even money. It might shift a little bit based on lineups if you wait till match time, which I may do because of the Champions League fixture for Napoli, and they might rest certain players. But I expect knowing Conte, to approach this maybe with a stronger 11 than he goes with Sporting, because this is a big match to set the tone early in the season for a Milan side that I don't want to say they're upstarts, but they're an improving side from last year with a manager who's been there, done that, who is battle tested, and he's not going to want to give them any kind of momentum in the league that they're going to have to deal with later in the season when where they could put him 6 behind and maybe knock some wind out of their sails. I think he's definitely going to go strong 11 here.
Definitely.
I mean, like you said, goal scorer numbers are big, but it's hard to pick one here. Pulisic plus 140 goal or assist. I wish it was a little bit better to take that, even though it gives you 2 options and he does provide both.
I mean, shot on target is minus 120 for Pulisic. I think that's certainly come out firing.
Number. Yeah. McTominay is plus 400, which is crazy. I know he scores quite a few goals for a midfielder. It's just a big number, but again, it's tough to. That's one of those things that if you want to sprinkle on a goal scorer, you look at a player like McTominay who's got a nose for goal. You look for players like that, I think. De Bruyne is plus 500 if he's on the pitch. He takes penalty kicks. That's always a positive. We always talk about guys who take PKs for their sides. So that's something maybe to look at too.
Absolutely. Anytime if you're getting KDB around plus 200 goal or assist, I think that's solid until I'm proven otherwise. Taking penalties and
whipping in free
certainly
kicks.
still there to give out assists.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So this should be a good one. But it's not the only good one in Serie A.
We got some matchups.
Saturday noon match. Juve hosting Atalanta. I know Atalanta is not the same Atalanta on paper that they were, but they're starting to find their form a little bit under Ivan Juric. I mean, there was no easier bet for me on the Champions League last week than the PSG minus the goal and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect them to compete there at all. I don't expect them to last in Serie A for the whole season with Juric in charge, and but they're on 8 points so far. 9 goals scored, 3 allowed, so they're starting to round into form a little bit. Juve on 10. This one killed me on Saturday. I think this was the one that killed my parlay, Nick, that I had sent you. It was Juve team total, and they only managed 1 against Hellas. And when Hellas tied, I was like,
early.
Yeah, they scored in the 19th minute, Kosensao, and then when Hellas tied it right before halftime, I'm like, all right, now Juve is going to have to push for a second goal. It's going to come eventually. That was all that stood between me and a nice little parlay, and lo and behold, they couldn't find it. So that was really disappointing, and it kind of puts them in a position where at home minus 120, draw plus 245, Atalanta plus 300. This is another one where the under is minus 125 and the over 2.5 is even money.
Okay.
So right away, I know what I look at, and my eye goes right to that Juve money line at minus 120 at home against an Atalanta side that I don't truly believe in without Gasperini anymore.
Yeah, I agree. That jumped out at me immediately. The Juve have been rolling in the league, right? So they haven't lost a match yet. But then I looked a little deeper at Atalanta, and they also haven't lost a match.
No,
I don't think they've played well, but
they haven't played anybody good yet. I mean, it's Pisa,
right?
Atalanta, Parma, Lecce, and Torino. So, but you got to beat who's on paper, and they've beaten 2 of them and drawn 2 of them.
If you gave me that list of results for Fiorentina, if you gave me that list of results for Lazio, if you gave me that list of results for I don't know, like Como, like you'd be happy with all that, right? You'd say, okay, I got 8 points on 4 games, right? So why shouldn't I be happy with it with an Atalanta team that we all thought would regress? I still don't have them in top 4, top 5 contention. I think they're going to be 6th, 7th at best. But they seem like they've been scoring goals still. They still get contributions from a lot of guys. Their defense has been pretty good. So is there a case to be made for Atalanta? I don't know, but I'm not going to be the one to make that case.
No,
I would say,
nor will I.
Yeah, Juve's been rolling, dude, and quite honestly, it's something I didn't think we'd be saying about Juve. I think over 2.5 is a good bet in this one. I think a Juve team total is a good bet in this one. I think with the exception of last game, Juve have scored 2+ in every single game. They're in the Champions League. They put up 4 against Dortmund. They conceded 4, right? So it wasn't exactly a good game. But their defense is a little bit of a liability right now. I think Di Gregorio is off to a horrendous start to the season. He's a little bit of a liability. So they're not keeping clean sheets. They need to go out and score goals. And, I didn't see it coming, but for whatever reason, they're doing that. Vlahovic has looked pretty good. I hate to say it. David is an option for them off the bench. Yildiz, we talked about him last week, is probably the player of the season so far.
He's very good player. Yeah.
So they're getting goals. They're getting goal contributions. Their midfielders play hard. I don't see why we don't have an over in this one. I mean, Atalanta are averaging 3 goals in their matches. Juve are averaging 3 goals in their matches. Who's stopping Juve from scoring 2?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, the Atalanta defense has only conceded 1 goal per match, and then a clean sheet last match, except for the PSG match. But when you look at on paper who's the most comparable, I'm not saying Juve is anywhere in the class of PSG, but who's the closest comparison of the teams they've played? It's got to be, Juve is a step below PSG, but that's the closest comparison we have in terms of on the pitch performance for Atalanta, and they got absolutely dog walked by PSG. Not unexpectedly. I don't expect Juve to dominate in the same manner. They're not at the same level as PSG. They're not the European champions by any means, but I agree. I think minus 110 on team total is solid. I think the money line at minus 120 is solid. And are they keeping a clean sheet? I don't know. They couldn't keep a clean sheet against Hellas, right? So that does put the over in play at plus money. So definitely food for thought there.
I mean, Juve and over 2.5 is plus 200.
Yeah, that's
Just throwing out some ideas here.
yeah. Goal score numbers are all right. Vlahovic plus 180, David plus 160. Nothing big enough for me to play. Yildiz at plus 245
Still solid.
Is pretty solid. For Atalanta, I'm not sure who's going to start in this one.
Kristovic been starting,
plus
right?
300. It's Kristovic been starting.
Isn't Skamaka hurt already?
Oh, he's still hurt, right?
I think. Let's look it up.
He's not on the injury report anymore
okay.
here.
Oh,
he's off the injury report, at least on SofaScore.
Okay.
But they do have Scalvini is out. That definitely puts a damper on the Atalanta back line, which is, of course, big when you're trying to defend Juve, who's been scoring. Some players that are doubtful, CDK.
All right, I'm looking at FotMob, and it says early October 2025.
For Scamacca?
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, there's another player who's
Ederson's hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, not a good look.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scalvini one's big when you're trying to keep this team out of the net. So yeah, I'm definitely going Juve money line. If it stays Mero minus 120, I might even lock it in early, just because I think that's a great number on them.
I agree. You got to take it until they put in a really bad performance, right? And I guess last week wasn't great, but that game has happened for every team so far except for Napoli.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That letdown game, unexpected loss or unexpected result. So no, until they lose, you got to back Juve. Minus 120 is good. At home, tough place to go.
All right, so let's whip around Serie A a little bit, Nick. I'll go through. You stop me when you see something and you like. We've got Como hosting Cremonese.
Nothing.
Cagliari hosting Inter in the late game Saturday.
Nothing for me there.
We've got Sassuolo hosting Udinese early on Sunday morning.
So that's an interesting one to me. I couldn't figure out why Sassuolo was a favorite. Plus 120. They haven't looked good in any of their games here. Udinese has 2 wins. I don't think they're anything special either. It's a team with a negative goal differential, right, on 7 points. But I can't make heads or tails of these teams. I think they're really evenly matched. So are you telling me Sassuolo's home advantage is that big in this one? Or do you what are your thoughts?
Doesn't seem like it should be, right? I mean, like you said, they're not playing well. Both teams are coming off Coppa Italia matches in the midweek, both wins. So there's no rest advantage for either side. One thing I wanted to look at here is first goal, because I'm looking at recent trends, and Udinese has scored first in 6 out of 8, and Sassuolo's conceded first in 4 out of 5. So I was trying to see the first goal.
I like that
number here for first goal. Udinese is plus 115.
Okay,
not a great number considering they're on the road, but trends kind of back it. But yeah, to your point, what's the draw no bet line? Plus 125, that's where I kind of go with this one. Udinese draw no bet plus 125.
Yeah, I just think the spread is wildly too big for two teams that are on the same level, but Sassuolo has been considerably worse. They've played considerably worse than Udinese so far. So the plus 125 tells me they're going to win this game, but man, I would probably take a stab at Udinese.
Yeah, the only time they've kept a team under 2 goals is against your boys, the 1-0 win. 2-1 loss to Inter, 3-2 loss to Cremonese, 2-0 loss to Napoli. Obviously, haven't had the easiest schedule to open with both Napoli and Inter. In theory, Lazio. Actually, they're coming off a Coppa Italia loss in the midweek. They lost to Como 3-0 in the Coppa.
Yeah, a chance for them to get some points, right? I guess that's what the odds are reflecting here, right? Yeah. They're at home playing a mediocre Udinese team. I mean, maybe you say, hey, this is a chance for us to get something, but I don't know that I would ever take them on the money line. That's got to be probably the last team I'm taking on the money line.
Yeah, you can't trust them. That's for sure. All right, moving on Sunday, we've got Roma hosting Verona. We've got Pisa hosting Fiorentina.
So this one, I'm going to
desperate Fiorentina side.
I'm going to still believe in Fiorentina, I guess. On the Aston Villa of Italy here, they're winless through 4 games. They need to get a win. Pisa also winless through 4 games. So how do you not take Fiorentina plus 120?
Yeah, I think you have to, right? I mean, if they play Conference League next week, which they probably do, wouldn't be till Thursday, so there's plenty of rest time. Pisa has not been good. They're on 1 point so far.
Plus 135 team total, Fiorentina.
Yeah, this could be the match where they finally get going.
Yeah, Moise Kean, no goals
in
yet.
4 straight. I mean, Fiorentina no wins in 3, but I think it's got to be Fiorentina at plus money even on the road. I mean, they have to find some form here, right? I mean, they've got a 1-1 draw against Cagliari away. So. They won a Conference League match against a team I can't even pronounce. They've got a 0-0 against Torino, 3-1 loss to Napoli, 2-1 loss to Como. So they're starting to get goals. Like, they're not getting shut out every match. So it kind of sets them up for, hopefully for their sake, scoring 2 here and maybe for our sake as bettors, because I just don't see how they don't start breaking out a little bit.
I'm actually getting plus 145 on Hard Rock for a team total. So I will locking that in right now, people.
And Moise Kean at plus 210. If he's starting, I think that's a solid number on him too.
Definitely.
I mean, he spearheads the attack, and he probably is going to be in and out in goal if he's the one starting. But it's one of those things you could wait to see who starts, because Kane, Dzeko, and Piccoli plus 210, plus 220, plus 250. Whoever starts the match as striker, you could probably.
And like those other 2 guys should be like plus 300s.
Yeah. I
yeah,
understand how they pay that much for Piccoli, but that's another.
You need some depth. A team like this, that's in another tournament, you need some depth. But
yeah,
money laundering.
Let's see what else we got here. The rest of the week to round it out, we've got Lecce hosting Bologna.
Bologna. Now, I will say, I think outside of Lazio, they have to be the most disappointing team so far, relative to the talent they have in the last 2 seasons they put together. How do you not take them at plus 105 against Lecce, who's in last place?
Yeah, Lecce also on 1 point. Lecce, who just outside of Parma, has one of the worst attacks in the league. 2 scored, 8 allowed, just 1 point. I mean, there's some bad teams that haven't scored. Torino has only scored 1 goal. Hey, it was the winner against Roma.
Yeah,
I did not realize that till just now. So that makes me feel even worse about Roma's bad match of the season so far. But
do you want to feel better? They've scored 1 goal and they have more points than Lazio.
That is true. That is true.
So, yeah,
and they've got 2 clean sheets to get those 4 points, and they've conceded 8 in 4 matches. So go figure. So the other 2 matches they've conceded 8 goals.
Yeah,
5 to Inter right in the opener, then 3 in another match. So yeah, go figure. That's Italy. Hard to figure out, but yeah, I agree. I think you got to give Bologna a look here at plus 105 if it stays plus money. Lecce has not been good. I know Bologna played today against Villa, 1-0 loss, probably the most predictable under ever, the way these 2 teams are playing. But yeah, I think that's a solid look there. And then the weekend rounds out with, we talked about the Milan match, and that's Parma Torino and Genoa Lazio on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, talk about 4 teams that all suck. Like who do you like? Like Parma as a home team against Torino to get their first win. To your point, Torino has only scored 1 goal. That might be okay, or do you say, hey, Torino's actually head and shoulders above Parma, and you take a stab with them at plus 220?
Both have only scored 1 goal each in 4 matches. Like, are their defenses bad enough that one of these teams can finally find a goal or 2, or they both their offenses suck that much that we're not getting any goals in this one?
Yeah, I mean,
the under is set at minus 155.
Under 2 is only plus 115.
Yeah,
so that tells you everything you need to know there. The shortest goal scorer has got to be about plus 400. Now Juric is plus 265. That's funny.
These are 2 matches where I got to be really desperate for some Monday action to probably do much here, because normally Lazio plus 145 on the road most seasons, you're like, oh, that's a pretty solid bet, but not this year. They haven't done anything that impresses you to even consider them even at Genoa.
No way. And Genoa, again, another winless team. So there are currently 6 winless teams in Italy.
Yeah. Nobody's pointless, but we have 6 winless ones.
Yep. And then you're talking about, again, a Torino team that got their only win against Roma. You're talking about a Lazio team who's given up the only win to a disgusting Sassuolo team. Could they do it against Genoa? I don't know.
Yeah, 1 win combined between these 4 sides. It was a 1 win for Lazio so far.
Yeah, and Lazio has been shut out in 3 out of the 4 games they've played.
Yeah. Wow.
So
might be just like an under 2.5 parlay.
So, I
on
mean,
Monday
even though
afternoon.
they're favorites in this one, are you realistically going to back them away from home? What have they
Yeah.
shown you that they're going to go out and get a win?
No, honestly,
So,
and
like,
I rarely bet unders. Like I'm more of an over person, or I'd stay away because I hate getting beat on an under by a goal scoring match. But like this feels like almost the double under here.
yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can. That won't work. Let's see. Throw a little. Oh, they're both gross numbers. Even if you parlay them, it's only plus 160.
Yeah,
That's shit. That's not even
yeah,
worth it.
not even worth sweating two unders. And
No,
maybe you won't sweat them, but still not worth it. I don't think.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think games in front of us are clear with what I like. This, like, basically the whole entire bottom half of the table, you can't really make heads or tails of anybody other than they
Yeah,
all stink. And because they all stink and they all play each other, somebody's going to come out one week and get a result. Like one of
yeah,
those teams, Parma, Genoa. I already forgot who Parma was playing. Torino. Like somebody has to win, right? Are there going to be two draws? Okay, there could be, but
could
you know what I
be.
mean? Like somebody's going to pick up points. So it's
Yeah,
like, how do you make sense of it? Especially only 4 weeks through the season. Like
yeah,
I can't in good conscience, no matter how much we follow the league, no matter how much we think we know, no matter how many bets we make week in and week out, there's nothing where I could look at those 2 games, 4 teams and say, this is the bet. There
yeah.
just
Can't
really
confidently
legitimately
give
isn't.
anything out. No, I'm not going to put anybody else's money on anything in those two matches.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. All right, so that's how we'll end Italy. We'll head over to the Premier League. We'll start with the big one, which is on Sunday, which is, the biggest of the slate. Sunday, 11:30 match. Newcastle hosting Arsenal. Newcastle plus 245 on the money line. Arsenal plus 115 on the road. The draw line's plus 235. This is another one who's trending under at minus 130 for the under 2.5. The over's plus 105. I mean, this is a Newcastle side, Nick, that is really hurting for points here. All the way down in 13th place, 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss. The draws have kind of kept them afloat a little bit. Arsenal, second place, joint second, really on points with Spurs and Bournemouth. They're ahead on goal differential, coming off that draw with City, which has now allowed Liverpool to pull 5 ahead of them already in the season. So this is a big one in that sense, in that Arsenal's trying to keep pace with Liverpool side, who hasn't dropped points yet.
Yep.
Newcastle just trying to find their way back into the mix. Champions League in the midweek for both of these sides. To keep them back in your mind. Newcastle goes to Belgium at Union Saint-Gilles, or however you pronounce it. And Arsenal hosts Olympiacos. So they both have that in the back of their minds. But this means a lot for both in the league. So it's not really like a look-ahead spot. It's not really a spot where you could rotate too much, I don't think.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this one?
So this is another situation where over the past 8 months, I can't say anything really good about Newcastle. Week in and week out, we talk about them. They get these nice numbers. They're at home, tough place to play. They haven't shown anything. They're not scoring goals. They have 3 goals through 5 games. I know they just brought in what's his face, the German dude, right? The Isak saga was weighing on them a little bit, so you can maybe chalk that up. But I remember last year we talked about them having a brutal schedule to start the year, and they fared better than they're faring right now. So that's kind of what worries me. And you look at Arsenal, and another team we talk about a lot. I always say Arsenal have to prove it. Arsenal have to prove it. Guess what? We're like 5 years later. They still have to prove it because they still haven't won shit. But it's a team that's only given up 2 goals. Now they've dropped points in both of the games where they've conceded a goal. But is Newcastle coming out and scoring 2 on them at home?
I don't
getting a
think
result? So. It's tough for me to say that. I think as much as I don't like to do it, Arsenal at plus 115 looks really, really appealing. I think the draw is just too low of a number.
I also looked at team clean sheet on Arsenal's plus 175. This is a Newcastle side that's only scored 3 times.
Yeah.
And Arsenal's like you said, they're shutting teams out. I mean, they went to Spain and shut out Bilbao 2-0. Right? That's a solid win. Only conceded 1 to Liverpool. They shut out United the first week of the season. they're not giving up a lot of goals. Shut out Forest, shut out Leeds, 1-1 with City. So they're not conceding a lot, which makes me think that I think that's in play. I don't know if it's what I'm going to take, but it's certainly going to be in the back of my mind when I look at lineups and stuff. Like, it's I play it once in a while on certain matches where I feel like the team's got a shot at doing it, and this might be one of those matches. Like Newcastle hasn't inspired up front. They don't have Isak up there anymore to get them the goals. And Voltamade or Mod or however you pronounce his name, is he the one? I mean, he scored on Wolves, but he didn't do it against Barcelona, Bournemouth. I mean, those kind of matches. So I don't know.
I'm gonna hit you with some so I'm looking at this game outside of Arsenal money line. Player props are looking really good. The shot market is out there. A couple guys I think are like really ripe, man. Anthony Gordon is even money for a shot on target. I think he pretty much comes out firing while they figure out how Woltmead's going to fit into this 4-3-3. Our boy Sandro Tonali is plus 245 to get a shot on target. He tends to generate offense for them. I know that's not exactly his strength, but he's never scared to shoot.
Yeah.
And then Zubimendi for Arsenal. If he's starting, he's plus 300 to get a shot on target. I think that's insane. He started the year like really, really strongly for them. So I'd look at some of those player props.
Yeah, that's a big number on Zubimendi for a guy who scored a brace already this season.
I don't know. Is he a free kick guy? I don't know what he's doing with set pieces or anything like that, but to play like pretty much right side midfielder in a 4-3-3 is how he's been lining up, or even a 4-2-3-1 if he's sitting a little far back. Like he shoots a lot. Plus 300 doesn't make sense to me. I think he was like plus 160 last week.
Pretty big number for sure. All right, so yeah, I think we agreed. Lean to Arsenal.
Definitely.
Take a look at that clean sheet. Is something I'm going to keep an eye on. Take a look at player props if there's someone you like. There's some bigger numbers out there. Again, because this game is leaning to the under. So when you get those games that are leaning to the under, there are opportunities to find those shots, those goal scorers.
Exactly.
I don't even hate the under at minus 130. If it stays somewhere in that minus 125, minus 130 range, I think this is a match that should go toward that under.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Hey, what's up, Bob? Bob in the chat, 1-0 Arsenal. I agree, man. It's one of those too. Like every 15 minutes that goes by without a goal, you're just feeling better and better and better.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of game.
Yeah. All right, let's whip through the Premier League. Stop me if you have something you like here. We've got Brentford hosting United.
I hate both teams. So what can I nicely say about it? Nothing. I don't know. Brentford stink too. So like this is probably a game that United get a win, and all of a sudden you're talking about 3 wins in 6 matches. Oh my God. Are they figuring it out? I don't know, but I will not bet on United, and I will not advise anybody to bet on United.
Yeah, that's for sure. You can't trust them. City hosting Burnley. I mean, unless you think City's scoring like 3 or 4 goals and taking their team total, I don't see where you go with this because they're minus 575.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley does have 5 goals in 5 matches. So, if you think they can get a goal, that would be a way I would approach it, like a both teams to score or something like that, but probably a pass.
Yeah. Next one's interesting. Palace plus 275 hosting Liverpool minus 110.
Yeah. So Palace have been very good. They also haven't lost a game, right? Their defense has been really good. Only have given up 2 goals. Palace is kind of a weird bogey team for Liverpool. I wish Scotty was around for this, but he would tell you like Palace to score first is the bet. They always tend to do it. Both teams to score. They're at home. It's tough, but all that said, you're giving me a 5-0 Liverpool team at minus 110. I think you know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think until Liverpool proves otherwise, I think you got to take them at when they're close to even money. It's like that old rule we had with City, right? When you get City money, close to even money, you take them. I think they're at that point now too with Liverpool.
Absolutely.
And that's no disrespect to Palace. It's just that Liverpool's been that good.
Yep.
Chelsea hosting Brighton. Interesting one.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what to make of Brighton. That's more of a me problem. I think other people have a much better sense of them than I do. I think every time I try to believe in them. They suck every time I fade them. They come out and pull an upset. Tough game for me. I mean, because you want to believe in Chelsea at the money line. It's a good number. Chelsea just haven't looked good the last 2 weeks. And I don't think they look good in Europe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was trying to scroll through quick to see what like both teams to score and over 2.5 is.
And that's what I was going to say. If you want to take an over, I wouldn't be mad at you. Chelsea have been scoring. They have been conceding. And I think Brighton's been conceding as well. I don't think their defense is all that good.
Yeah.
Right? Only 1 win through 5. So I think just a straight over is probably the way to go for me.
Yeah, and both teams to score over 2.5 is -115. The over is -170, so it's really chalky. So it's hard to take the over unless you go to over 3. But if you like both teams to score and get the over, then you're looking at a nice number at -115. The over 3 is -110. If you think there's gonna be at least 3, and you get yourself the push.
I think both teams score in this one. I like that.
All right, Leeds hosting Bournemouth.
Okay. Bournemouth, it just seems like such a trap, dude. Why are they +145? And it's because they don't score, right? Yeah. That's like the only thing I can think of. In Leeds, again, we talked about them, right? They won last week. Well, we had them to win last week, so I'm not mad about that one. But like, something doesn't add up here. This is a fishy game. It looks like Bournemouth +145 all day, but just be very, very cautious. I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me with these odds.
Yeah, I mean, based on form, that's the play, right? But
they've won 3 straight at home.
Leeds on 7 points. Not that bad of a start for their Premier League return. Yeah, I don't know. It's just,
I mean, I would probably. I'll come on next week and be like, yeah, I did it. Went with Bournemouth. They lost. They drew. Whatever. It was a 1-1 game, something, but I don't know.
It'd be hard to fault you, though, at +145 for taking it. But yeah, it feels a little bit like a trap. Forest hosting Sunderland. Forest -125.
Oh, man. Wait, hold on. I know Scotty made it. Do we still have? Where does it show up? Can you go back? Mention the game again.
Forest and Sunderland.
No, the one before.
Oh,
the Leeds game.
Leeds Bournemouth match. Yeah,
I knew we had this here somewhere.
The trap alert.
That's where I'm at.
Forest and Sunderland. Forest -125. Sunderland +360.
Man, dude.
Forest coming off the 2-2 draw yesterday in the Europa League.
Yeah.
They blew it late to Betis, right?
Sure did.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of Forest yet. I'm happy of where they are. I know they fired their manager. I'm not happy about that. I have a bet on them bottom half, so that's okay. And Sunderland's looked kind of fun, right, early on. But like, do you trust them to get something out of this game? I don't know. But I'm not ready to take Forest either on the money line. Like they're just not that team for me yet. What I'll do if it's good enough. Let's see.
Gonna look at the spread. A goal is -190, but you could go 3/4 of a goal at -130 on Sunderland.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
I wish it was +1.
Yeah.
If I can get Sunderland down to +1 at a playable number, and when I say playable, honestly, with the +1 protection, me personally, I would go to like -150. I'm not saying that's right for everybody. I'm not necessarily advocating or here to give out -150 winners, but in a situation like that with an even number on the spread where you can get a push, I'm really okay with taking a -150. If it doesn't get near that number, it's a pass for me.
When you're getting a whole goal, I'd say I'd be comfortable going to -150, not past that. I wish it was closer to that because you jump from -130 to -190 for that quarter of a goal, which makes it tough. And I don't necessarily love 3/4 of a goal because if you lose by 1, you're still losing half your bet.
Exactly.
So it's not really worth it there at that number. Spurs hosting Wolves.
Nothing for
me in this Saturday match. Then you've got Villa hosting Fulham in the earlier Sunday match.
Again, and this is a tough one for me because Villa stink, right?
Yeah.
Haven't won, barely scored 1 goal so far this year in the league. But Fulham kind of stink too. Like, there's nothing impressive about Fulham. Nothing. I don't think their defense is good. I don't think their offense is good. but they won 2 in a row.
Wins or
So I don't
wins.
know. Like, are you really going to back a winless Villa in this game? Or do you say, hey, they're due, they need points, they're at home, they're plus money?
They got the win today against Bologna. Is that enough to give them a little momentum heading into this one? At the same time, last week, they couldn't beat a 10-man Sunderland side. They ended up drawing. They ended up conceding and drawing. So, yeah, that's... I can't trust them. And they were good for us the past couple of years, too. Because
Really
they were
good.
usually decent value in them in a lot of matches. They performed well. It's just hard to back them right now the way they're playing.
But this is normally a game where I would be all over Villa plus 130 at home.
Yeah.
If
I
didn't
still
watch,
might do it. I still might do it.
Right. Not to say I won't, but if we didn't watch them be absolutely the worst team in the Premier League through 5 games, and
Yeah.
I'm not counting Wolves. Wolves don't count because we knew that was happening. A team with actual expectations or hopes of making a European place.
Yeah.
You know, we've watched them not win a game through 5. So how do you tell people to bet on them?
Yeah. It's hard to, right? Yeah. And then the weekend closes on Monday with Everton hosting West Ham.
Yeah, and this is one, I mean, Everton minus 130 at home kind of looks good. West Ham, another team that just stinks. But they've only given up 5 goals through 5. I think that's kind of pretty good for them. And Everton or Jekyll and Hyde, you know, when they feel like playing well, they really do. Otherwise, they get held scoreless.
Yeah.
But I do like them at home. I think it's a tough place to play. I think they're a better team than West Ham. Probably good enough for me to take a chance.
Okay, that's England. So, Nick, you had one in La Liga you like this weekend. The big one's the Madrid Derby.
Yeah. How much do I like it is the question. So we got Real traveling to Atleti, and Real have been fantastic. I don't know really any other way to say it. I know we have rode Real Madrid to a lot of money over the past couple of years. They've been good to us. Last year, that was not the case. They're 6-0. They've only given up 3 goals in those games. They won in the Champions League. They've scored 14 goals. The only team that scored more is Barca, who just manufacture 4 goals a game every game for some reason. And Atleti stink. They've only got 2 wins through 6. I'm A-okay with that. But they are at home in this one. They haven't lost, right? They lost their first game. They have not lost since. Just tough, but I'm going to go like against conventional wisdom on every single one of them. Real money line plus 130. They're 6-0. They're 6-0 plus 130. Real Madrid plus money on this form. You take them. And I think you also take a Real Madrid team total minus 110 to get 2 goals. I think those are the first 2 places that jumped out at me. I don't care that they're away. Atleti really just have not been good.
Okay, yeah.
And if you believe in Atleti, I think you're getting plus 200 on Alvarez, who scored 3 goals today and who's been off to a good start.
One that caught my eye in the Bundesliga is on Saturday morning. Mainz hosting Dortmund. Mainz has not been good. Dortmund's playing pretty well. I know they conceded 4 to Juve in the Champions League, but other than that, they've conceded only 3 so far in the league, and Mainz has only scored 5. Not playing all that well. They are coming off their first win of the season, but they've been an under team. I don't hate. There's 2 bets I don't hate. Dortmund team total at minus 135. Because they've got 9 scored in their 4 matches played, and also money line at plus 105. I think is a solid number on Dortmund.
Where's the game?
It's away. It's at Mainz.
It's away. Okay.
Yeah. And I know they've got Champions League coming up, but Mainz also has Conference League in the midweek, so not a full week rest for them either. Looking ahead, but yeah, I just think Dortmund, and when you get them at that number, it can seem like Mainz, who hasn't played well. I think that's a good bet there.
I agree. I kind of dig it.
There's a few. I mean, the Bundesliga has been good to me with overs. I had a nice over parlay a couple weeks ago. Goals for the most part have been coming. You can mix and match. What I've been doing fairly successfully is mixing like money lines I like or draw no bets that I like with overs or both teams to score type situations.
Yep.
Yeah, the Bundesliga it's a lot of fun to bet. I don't give out a lot of picks on here because I don't like watch it close enough to be like, oh, I'm confident in this. But yeah, I mean, I just happened to stumble upon Mönchengladbach too, hosting Frankfurt. Mönchengladbach's been terrible.
Stink.
And Frankfurt is plus 120
I
on the
like
money
that.
line away. I know it's at
They have lost 2 in a
Mönchengladbach,
row.
but yeah.
They have
But
lost 2 in a row.
they had that Champions League win mixed in, though.
But
Just
they score a
absolutely
lot of
demolishing
goals.
Galatasaray, yeah.
Yeah. No, they have the second most goals scored in the league. So I think I'm with you on that. I just did the quick math here. 10 out of the 18 teams in the Bundesliga are averaging 2 goals a game or better.
Yeah.
A lot of offense. A lot of offense
That's all
early.
you need to know.
Go with those trends.
And this is kind of what Cerruti was talking about last week, right? He doesn't trust these Bundesliga strikers that miss a lot of chances but score a lot of goals because the goals don't come as easy in other leagues when they translate over. I think it might have been talking about Newcastle.
Yep.
With the new striker. Frankfurt team total, it's on the slightly chalky side, minus 140, but also not a bad number against the Mönchengladbach side, who has not been good.
No, they stink. But their defense has been okay.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. They just don't score. They're like Aston Villa or Fiorentina, right? Like they just haven't scored.
Yeah, so there's definitely some ones to look at in the Bundesliga this weekend. That one, those two jumped out at me, but
yeah,
there's some value there.
No, I mean, it's like the cop out of all cop outs to end the show. I mean, I think there's the confident games we have where teams are very comfortably in the minus 120 to plus 120, 130 range, where we're pretty clear on what we like and we're in unison. There's the league leaders of Liverpool, Real Madrid, Napoli, all at plus numbers that you can take. I think those are the bets. Everything else, honestly, I would say proceed with caution. I think we're going to see a lot of upsets this weekend, and an upset could mean a draw. An upset could mean a heavy favorite that wins by 1 or struggles or something like that. So definitely proceed with caution. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm looking at like the Aston Villas of the world is weird. Those relegation type battles where in years past, pretty early on, we'd be able to say, okay, yeah, they're both, bottom half of the table or bottom 5, bottom 6, but we know one team is better. We know this roster is way better. Like, I don't have that clarity in any of these leagues so far. I just think if you're not sure, pass. There's 3 more games. There's 33 more match days in the season from here on out. We do our best to try to cover as many games as possible. We're clear with what we're clear with. And I think our confident picks, even though the first 3 or 4 shows of the year, I think we were pretty shit, if I could be honest.
Yeah.
Our confident plays were our confident plays, right? Yeah. And I think we did well. And I think the last 2 weeks, we've certainly picked it up.
And I think, too, like those first couple weeks, you get excited it's back and you have so many options. And I know personally, sometimes I overbet those kind of weeks because I'm like, oh, I like this number. But you have to keep in mind, like, these teams still haven't played a lot of matches yet. And when you go back to week 1 or week 2, they haven't played at all. Right. And you're trying to figure it out. So definitely something to keep in mind for sure. Nick, I was just looking ahead to Serie A for next weekend. We've got a real barn burner on Saturday morning to open the Saturday slate. It's Lazio hosting Torino.
Oh yeah, under.
So could look forward to that one.
Under 1.5.
I know you'd be waiting all week for that one, but that's what we could look forward to.
I just want to see Lazio score a goal, dude. If they come out and score 2 goals against fucking Genoa, like that's exciting for me, I guess. Like, what do I hope? Do I hope that happens, or do I hope they lose to Genoa and like Sadi gets fired? I can't do another season of me getting on this show and telling people that Sadi should get fired.
Yeah, but would he fire him and have to pay another manager?
You can't pay any other players, so he might as well pay a fucking manager. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to do it. He shouldn't have been rehired. So my thoughts are already out there. My thoughts are already clear. It's just really frustrating, and I don't even know what I'm rooting for at this point.
Yeah. I'd rather be me than you right now, sir.
Yeah. Be happy about that.
Feeling pretty decent so far about the Gasperini era, so we'll see. We thank you guys for joining us. Hit us with your favorite plays on Twitter, on the comments on YouTube, and we'll catch you guys again next week. Thanks for listening.